Hello, today I want to talk about getting the best from your alternator and batteries. On most boats, the engine is marinised, that is, it's adapted for the marine environment in which it's going to operate. But the alternator is not. It's much the same as the alternator on your car's engine. Unlike on your car, where the engine is running pretty well all the time you use the car, on your boat you often want power for hours on end when the engine isn't running, so you need to make the best use of your batteries and charge them as efficiently as possible, giving you the maximum amount of use when the engine isn't running. This is where automotive alternators, and in particular automotive regulators, which are the things inside the alternator that control the output, let you down. As a battery is charged and the voltage goes up, the regulator in the alternator tails off the charge current, so it takes forever and a day to get the last 20% of capacity into the battery. Let's talk about battery life for a moment. The life of a battery isn't measured in months and years, but in the number of cycles, that is, the number of times it's discharged and recharged. The more it is kept closer to fully charged, the longer it will last. When charging a battery, almost any charger can get the battery up to 80% capacity, but it's the bit between 80% and 100% that's hard to do well, and that represents 40% of the total power available to you, as the batteries should never be depleted below 50% of their total capacity. Is there a way, I hear you ask, that I can make my batteries last longer and get fully charged more efficiently so they can deliver more power? Well, yes, and it's called the CTech D250SI. This thing here. The D250SI is a fully automatic 5-step charger that supplies up to 20 amps of power to charge, condition and maintain any 12-volt lead-acid service battery, from 40 amps to 300 amps, including wet batteries, MF, gel, AGM, enhanced flooding and calcium batteries. I think that's all of them. You may have heard of, or have got already, multistage battery chargers which are used when you're plugged into the shore power. They employ differing charging characteristics according to the battery's state of charge. The D250SI does this, but from your 12-volt system. On the D250SI, there are two inputs, so it can be used to control the charge from the alternator, even one of the new generation of smart alternators, and a solar panel or wind generator. Battery voltage is maintained at the optimum level. If the alternator is only delivering 13.7 volts, which is typical when the battery is over 80% charged, it will increase it to 14.4 volts. If the solar panel is delivering 18 volts, quite common also, especially if the sun's out, it'll drop it to 14.4. So, without messing around with your alternator and regulator, which can get very complicated, by fitting a D250SI to manage the DC to DC charging, you can achieve faster charging, increased efficiency and longer battery life. There's something else you can do too. By adding a device called a smart pass, you can separate out non-essential power requirements like hi-fi and TV from essentials like VHF radio, so you never risk flattening your batteries and putting your boat at risk. The smart pass can allow a charge of up to 120 amps, depending on your alternator, allowing bulk charging of your batteries if they have been deeply discharged, before the D250SI kicks in to finish the charge cycle in the most efficient way. So there you have it, maximum efficiency DC to DC charging with the D250SI, plus battery output management and bulk charging at up to 120 amps with the Smart Pass. Oh yes, one last thing, they're easy to fit and you don't have to go digging into the alternator to bypass the regulator. Ask your Tron lorry for the CTech D250SI and the Smart Pass. In my opinion, it's the best solution for DC to DC battery charging. Thanks for watching.